Forget about the worst episode of Raw. This was one of the worst episodes of TV ever produced. I absolutely hated this episode, and I am angrier now than I was 2.5 hours ago when I started watching this garbage after my stream. Now, a couple of quick things. Raw wasn't even 3 hours, okay? Now, in the Netflix era, if you will, they start and end the show. Well, they start at 8, but they end the show wherever the hell they want. So you have no idea how long the show is going to be. I don't understand it, and I hate it with a passion. Now, beyond the fact that I hated it, there was something peculiar about this show. For the first time since like junior year of high school, I went to bed before midnight. I fell asleep during the main event. It was so bad. But the hater is not going to give himself a way out. Just because this show was atrocious doesn't mean that I can just get by saying that. I have to do what I always do. And I do it my way or the highway. The hater says we're about to do it segment by segment. You understand me? Because the hater's the goat, so he says it like a sheep up in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to it. First segment, CM Punk comes out to open the show. This was horrible. CM Punk comes out and says absolutely nothing new. He basically just explains what has happened. He's like, Seth Rollins screwed me. Yeah, we know. It's been weeks. Then he wants to be champion. After this, LA Knight comes out. LA Knight, or as I like to call him now, LA Nate, because he looks like a guy named Nate, doesn't he? LA Nate comes out, and basically, I don't know if it was just me, but when he came out and he was in the ring with CM Punk, I just thought, wow, LA Knight, or LA Nate, is now basically a mid-carder, right? Like, he's always been a mid-carder, he's never been a main eventer, but he just feels mid-carderish. You know, he just doesn't feel like he's ever going to be a main eventer at this point, right? Take that up with Triple H. It ain't my fault, cucks. Anyways, CM Punk and him, like, I don't remember if it was a hug or a handshake. I think they shake hands. And it's really weird because after that, LA Knight is like half upset with CM Punk. And he's upset because CM Punk cost him the match, according to him, right? CM Punk says, look, Job, I'm the one who saved your life, Job. So basically, CM Punk calls LA Knight a jobber, and he says, look, Job, I saved your ass. You know? I don't know why you're upset, which quite frankly makes sense. Like, we saw what happened last week. LA Nate, you know what I'm saying? LA Nate over here has no ground to stand on. He can't just go there and be like, you took away my opportunity. I mean, of course, that's what he's going to say, but the facts speak for themselves. He was about to get his face stomped in concrete. That would have been the end of that. CM Punk saved his ass. So say what you want, but CM Punk in this case is right. After this, they do like a face-to-face, and they both look old as shit. You know, LA Knight is 42, but quite frankly, if it weren't for his like awesome physique, he would feel like 100 times older. He just has this like old man look. And CM Punk, this guy looks like he's 65 at this point. It's no longer acceptable, man. More on that a little bit later because this guy, like, he's just such a fucking tool. But anyways, I digress. After this, the Bronsons come out. The only thing interesting here is Bronson Reed has 2 pairs of sneakers around his neck, which I thought was a nice touch. If he gets 3, it'd be even funnier. Paul Heyman comes out and he butchers a bunch of French words. But he doesn't do it on purpose to be clever. He does it because he does not know how to speak. Paul Heyman is not a good speaker. He is not good on the mic. And that's just a fact of life, motherfucks. He comes out and then shits on Quebec City. I think they're in Quebec City, Quebec. He shits on them a little bit, but nobody cares. They start chanting something. Nobody understands it. The people of Quebec are fucking stupid. It's like the show is not watched by a lot of French people. If you want any kind of reaction, you're going to have to say it in English. Cuckolds, as I would say with my French accent. Anyways, nobody actually cares about this. And nobody actually cares that Paul Heyman said Quebec sucks, so they have to pipe in the booze. You can hear it very well, right? Heyman makes a match. It's the Bronsons versus LA Knight and CM Cuck. And immediately, as I wrote in my notes right here, it'll probably end in DQ, is what I wrote. I would bet my life that this match would end in DQ. I could smell it a mile away. After this, we have the AJ Styles match of the week. Finally, AJ is back in some sort of full-term-ish capacity. He comes out to basically no reaction, which is weird. This is AJ Styles. It's going to be him and Dragon Lee, who hasn't won a match in about 3 years, at least not in WWE. Maybe in AAA, he's won a lot of matches. And it's going to be them two versus Dominik and Ludwig Kaiser's version of El Grande Luchador. Or sorry, El Grande Americano. I keep forgetting, you know what I mean? Now, here's the problem with El Grande Americano, with Dominik, with Dragon Lee, and with AAA in general. They kept trying to hawk Triple Mania, right? Which is like their version of WrestleMania. How clever. They have WrestleMania, and these people are like, oh, Triple Mania. Like, shut the fuck up, you know what I mean? First of all, luchadors are complete shit, as we've seen 100 times out of 100. Rey Mysterio is the exception. Rey Mysterio, like, if it weren't for Rey Mysterio, Lucha Libre probably wouldn't exist anymore. Nobody gives a fuck about El Grande Metalico. Nobody gives a fuck about, like, El Pendejo Gordo. Nobody cares about any of these guys. The only luchador that has ever meant anything to anyone is Rey Mysterio. And King from Tekken, motherfuckers. Literally everyone else is shit. They're all terrible. Nobody gives a fuck about Mr. Iguana. Oh, it's like Yeska. It's just like the entertainment of retarded people. Rey Mysterio is an outlier, and quite frankly, his back must be hurting because he's carrying this entire Lucha Libre industry on his back single-handedly for the last, like, 30 years. It's complete garbage. Nobody cares at all. None of the luchadors are exciting or interesting or fun to watch. They're all shit, okay? Like, unequivocally. So the fact that Triple Mania is happening in the next couple of weeks or whenever doesn't mean shit to me. Especially when Dominik is in the fucking main event. But anyways, that's how that goes down. Basically, the match is a complete waste of time, but it goes on forever. Eventually, Dominik gets, like, his own Rey Mysterio mask, which is different than the normal Rey Mysterio mask. It's like a Dominik Mysterio mask. And he gets the head plate from Ludwig, right? And he puts it on his head and headbutts AJ Styles, who's getting pushed after, like, a pin kick out. The match was not good. It was not good because we finally get it that Dominik is now actually winning matches on his own, a la Eddie Guerrero. But he's been doing this for weeks at this point, so there was no point to this match. Number two, there's a part where AJ Styles, like, kind of vaults Dragon Lee very awkwardly into, like, the middle turnbuckle while I think Dominik is on there. Dragon Lee does this forced-looking monkey flip. It all just looked like shit. Like, they're trying to recreate that spot that Daniels and Samoa Joe and AJ Styles did, except the problem is you don't have Daniels in there. Instead, you have Dragon Lee, so it looks like shit, right? And then AJ Styles hits the Styles Clash, middle of the ring. Now, instead of pinning the jobber, AJ Styles tells Dragon Lee, get up and do, like, a top rope move. And ultimately, this leads to the end of the match because AJ hit the Styles Clash in the middle of the ring. Now, if the finisher is going to mean something, the logic is after you hit it, you got to go for the pin, right? It's as simple as that. You have to go for the pin once you hit your finisher. Otherwise, why are you doing your finisher? But AJ's like, nah, Dragon Lee has to go do, like, a fucking bullshit jabron lucha move from the top rope. Obviously, Dragon Lee can't do this. He's not good enough. So everything gets fucked and AJ and Dragon Lee lose. Now, nobody should have been surprised by the outcome because this was, after all, a Dragon Lee match, which means you know it's going to end one way and one way only. Dragon Lee on his back, looking up at the skies, and the ref counting 1, 2, 3. Dragon Lee sucks. Now, after this, it's time for Sami Zayn and Rusev. Sami Zayn, with a full mouth, with full confidence, goes to Adam Pearce, and he says, Adam Pearce, I want a world title match. This is unbelievable. I couldn't believe this. This was literally the equivalent of having, like, Otis come back and say, I want a world title shot. This is, like, absurd. Sami Zayn hasn't won a match in God knows how long. And if he has won a match, it's been like a bullshit match, like he beat Karrion Kross. And then Karrion Kross beat him too. Let me put it to you this way, motherfuckers. Karrion Kross in his entire career has won, like, 1 or maybe 2 matches on the main roster. One of them was a few weeks ago against Sami Zayn. That should tell you everything you need to know about Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn's like, I want to be the world champion. And then Adam Pearce just entertains this for some reason, right? And he says, Sami, we'll deal with it later. You're going to wrestle Rusev tonight. Sheamus appears. Sheamus says, I want to go beat up Rusev. Sami Zayn says, look, Sheamus, we're friends, because of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? He says, please let me, like, do this. Let me have this match. And Sheamus says, you have me word? but after the match, I'm gonna come and like beat Rusev's ass. So the match starts. It's a complete mess. Nobody cares about Rusev. He comes out to zero reaction. Sami Zayn comes out to a mild reaction. And the entire match, I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't think, and I'm being completely honest, like, I think even Karrion Kross and Rusev are better than Sami Zayn. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a wrestler worse than Sami Zayn. Maybe Adam Cole. Like, maybe, like, someone with less personality, less charisma, less anything, right? Maybe Adam Cole, it's close. But I think that Sami Zayn represents the lowest level of someone that's ever tried to be a wrestler. Sami Zayn has nothing going for him. This man has nothing exciting. He has 3 moves. They all suck ass. And the one move that he does that's kind of entertaining, which is that little thing where he holds the guy's hand and then bounces off the ropes like Eddie Guerrero, but in a much less interesting way, and does like a head scissors. That move it's not believable with him. Sami Zayn wrestles like he's supposed to be this athletic guy, right? He wrestles like Kofi Kingston, right? Where it's like they're under the impression that they're these 2 great athletes, but they're so bad, and people just let them do it anyways. They're like, all right, Kofi Kingston, you can jump kind of high, so go do your athletic matches. And it's like every other move is a botch. Like at this point, Kofi Kingston, it's like he tries 3 moves, one of them is guaranteed to be a botch. Like guaranteed, motherfucks. And this guy is a Hall of Famer. Sami Zayn is on the same level. It's like in the ring, these guys are like basically 0 out of 10. Like they're 0 out of 10. Straight up Kozlov is better in the ring than Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn comes out there and we have to endure this shit. We have to endure Sami Zayn pretending to do like Lucha Libre moves on Rusev. Sami Zayn is fat and can barely move around. Rusev has to carry his ass. And then on top of all this, we have to pretend that Sami Zayn is this athletic specimen. There's a part in the match where Corey Graves says, I think it was Corey Graves, it may have been Michael Cole. I don't even know who was on commentary. But one of them says, Sami Zayn is deceptively strong. And I'm just like laughing on the inside because I'm by myself, watching by myself. So I gotta laugh out loud. And then afterwards, the same guy says, he may not look it, but he's really strong. He may not look it basically just means, look, don't believe your eyes. You are not, in fact, seeing a fat chode trying to do cool things and failing completely. What you are seeing is a guy that looks like shit, but the looks do not tell the whole story. Except the fact is, the looks do tell the whole story. Now, as if this shit wasn't bad enough, you have literally the 2 worst guys on the roster, arguably 2 of the worst wrestlers in WWE history, at the same time in the same match. Then the match ends in DQ. How? Because 4 of the other top 10 worst wrestlers of all time come and interfere. Solo Sikoa, the fat one, the tall one, and I don't even know if Camacho was there, to be honest, the normal one. Like, they come out there, they just beat up Sami Zayn. Apparently, I completely forgot. They have a reason to hate him, right? Adam Pearce comes out and does the whole, like, get out of here. Have you guys noticed how, like, angry Adam Pearce is with the heels? Like, Adam Pearce is, like, one of the worst wrestlers of all time. I mean, wrestling characters, like, he's not really a wrestler anymore, but he's one of the worst characters of all time because his, like, actions are not consistent at all. He's always pissed off at the heels. He's like, yeah, you did this, huh? I'll show you. And then, like, the heel does whatever the fuck they want. Adam Pearce just gets mad and yells at them, and then there's no follow-through. The heel that comes back does the same thing again, you know? Anyways, it was what it was. I hated this with a burning passion. But the match ends with a DQ. Sami Zayn technically wins. Right after this, Sheamus makes good on his promise, goes and attacks Rusev's bitch ass. They brawl. So this feud, which has been going on for about 8 weeks now, continues again. A complete waste of everyone's time. At some point, between this match and the next match, there is a segment. The segment is the Kabuki Warriors and Iyo Sky talking backstage. Whoever booked this, like, is extremely dumb, and in my personal opinion, should be fired immediately. Like, basically, you have these 3 Japanese women who have to speak English because this is an American show, and they're speaking English to each other, but nobody understands what the fuck they're saying. Oh, hater, isn't that racist? No, it isn't, and even if it were, I couldn't give a shit because it's true. I don't care if people think it's racist. It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with the fact that we have 3 women in this company who some of them have been here for like 10 years. They can't fucking string together 2 sentences. This is unacceptable. If I lived in Japan for 10 years, I'd fucking be like a Japanese writer at this point. You know what I mean? They can't even speak 3 sentences. Now, that's fine. Asuka has made it work. You know, she doesn't say anything. She doesn't speak 3 sentences, but she yells and goes, "Nobody's ready for Asuka!" And then she acts like a retard, and people find it charming. You know what I mean? Myself included, I think it's nice. But when you put all 3 of them together, it's like 3 people speaking broken English, and I'm supposed to tolerate this as a viewer. It's like, imagine tuning into this and being like, what the fuck is this? Is this like the Tokyo channel? No, motherfucks. This is Netflix, a WWE American show, and you have 3 Japanese women not knowing how to speak English, trying to entertain us in a speech-driven segment. You know what I mean? It is unacceptable. Like, I can't understand how anybody in this company sees this and nobody has the balls to say, yo, motherfucks, come on. We have 3 Japanese broads who can't fucking string together a sentence each, and we're gonna have them have a speaking segment. Like, someone have the balls, man. Someone have the balls to say, wait a sec, you know that's how it happened. Someone's like, oh, I don't want to be racist and say something. No, motherfucks, this is the outcome of never saying anything. You just keep taking the dick deeper in your ass until you're surprised and you're like, oh, how did the dick get there? I didn't even know I was gay. What happened to me? That's what happened. You acquiesced and you took it forever. And you didn't say anything. You saw absurdities. Like 3 Japanese women who can't speak 1 sentence of English having an English promo with only themselves. It's stupid as fuck. It's unrealistic. 3 Japanese people having a conversation would not have the conversation in the language that none of them understand. Like, this is so absurd. It'd be one thing if it was like Bayley and Iyo Sky is gonna try to speak English because, you know, Bayley doesn't speak Japanese and they're not in fucking Japan. But in this one, you have 3 Japanese women having a conversation in English, a language that neither of them can speak and neither of them can understand. This is incredibly stupid. It's like, it's disrespectful to the fans and it's disrespectful to the Japanese wrestlers. It's like humiliating. It's like, go out there, try to speak a language, and have this dumbass promo. I fucking hated it. But somehow, this leads into a match. It's Iyo versus Roxanne, right? Because Adam Pearce gets involved, they have the match, right? Basically, Iyo is upset she can't wrestle Naomi, who is not medically cleared, which is another reason why this show sucked. Not because Naomi wasn't there, but because she's a champion, and she didn't do anything, you know what I mean? So Iyo versus Roxanne. They do some weird-ass, like, handstand counters. Now, the problem here, with respect to like the handstand counters, and generally speaking, the issue that had this match was that it went on too long. But beyond that, the match was a botchy mess. This is one of the worst women's matches of all time. Now, I had a moment when I was watching this, and I just looked at them. I'm like, Roxanne Perez and Iyo Sky, and I'm like, these are like small women, right? They're not even like average girls. They're like 5'1" each. They are short girls, motherfucks. Like, even for girls, they are small. There's not one athletic bone in their body. I mean, Iyo Sky can do like a backflip, right? Which apparently is the new standard. The new standard nowadays is, can you do a backflip? If yes, you're considered a super athlete, like Jacob Fatu. It's a fucking backflip, motherfuckers. Me and my friends used to do them at the pool all the time. Anyways, neither here nor there. The point is, you have like these 2 women, they're not athletic looking at all. Like, it's like China would destroy both of them at the same time. So quite frankly, if Rhea Ripley becomes the champion again, there is no pride in her being champion. There is no pride in being champion in a land of tiny people. It would be like if Braun Strowman, right, or Kane, or someone like that, or Omos, became champion, and it's like, oh, wow, he beat Finn Balor. Wow, how impressive. He should really be proud of himself. Like, would someone the size of Omos be happy in beating Finn Balor? No, he'd be like, of course I'm going to beat Finn Balor. He's 130 pounds. You know, this is a joke. And then, of course, every time I bring up Omos, I think about what people were saying years ago. They're like, Obafemi is exactly what WWE thought Omos would be. No, Obafemi is just the next Omos. But anyways, Omos more like Dumbass. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so this match is a jobby mess. The worst part by far is when Iyo Sky like hypes up the crowd for her shitty ass moonsault. Right? You'd think she's gonna be doing this like crazy ass like spiral tap level maneuver, but she climbs up barely. She tries to do like a little hop up, has to like land on her ankle, kind of like on her shin, right on the top rope, and she hypes the crowd up. And I'm like, this is a move that Lita did like all the time for free 20 years ago, 25 years ago at this point, right? It's really stupid. It's like fucking innovate a little bit, motherfuckers. There's like 19 people in this company who have a moonsault for a finisher, a move that S.A. Rios used for a finisher as a generic jobber luchador, right? So anyways, she goes for it. She misses it, but in the worst way imaginable. And I don't want to hear ever again how Iyo Sky never botches anything. Fuck out of here. Every match, Iyo Sky botches something. She does a moonsault, lands on her feet, right onto Roxanne's tit. Meanwhile, Roxanne gets her legs up, not her knees. This is going to be important in a few seconds. She gets her legs up and completely misses Iyo Sky. So effectively what happened was Iyo Sky landed a moonsault, like a double foot stomp moonsault, onto Roxanne's chest. Michael Cole says, Roxanne got the knees up. Iyo Sky crashed and burned. It's like the exact opposite of what happened is what Michael Cole said happened, right? It's a complete lie. Like, first of all, she didn't crash and burn. She double stomped her right on the tit, which is going to hurt more than her landing her 100-pound body on anybody, right? Number one. Two, Roxanne, her counter missed completely. So there was no crashing and burning. Number three, she got her feet up, not her knees up. So Michael Cole was literally wrong about everything. Like, if Michael Cole had said, oh, Iyo Sky just hit the people's elbow, that would have been about as wrong as it was, as what he said was, right? Because it would be completely wrong, just like what he said was completely wrong. If he said, tombstone pile driver, that would be just as wrong as what he said. Michael Cole is a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? This guy doesn't deserve a job. And quite frankly, the WWE right now is turning into like a conglomerate of people who have no idea what the fuck they're doing. From Michael Cole to the wrestlers to the backstage interviewer, nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. Like, you have people like Jimmy Uso, even Jey Uso, but Jimmy Uso. You have people like these people, right? That, like, if it weren't for their family, this guy would never make it in anything that involves entertainment. Like, never. There is a zero chance. Like, if his family weren't in entertainment, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, Solo Sikoa, JC Fateo, fucking Jacob Fatu, these guys would never make it on TV in anything. In anything, motherfucks. They would be losers who have no ability to entertain whatsoever. And quite frankly, there comes a point where if your life is the byproduct of, like, your ancestors, like your father and your grandfather just racially humiliating themselves, right? Like, maybe you should consider doing something else if you have any fucking dignity left at this point, right? If someone said, hey, hater, your dad has to act like a fucking Samoan savage for 15 years on TV so that one day you can get a job that you don't deserve, I'd be like, no, thank you. I'd rather work at fucking 7-Eleven. I'd rather work there with some pride and dignity, you know? Oh, but it's okay because Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso get like a palm tattooed on their titty and they're like, yeah, I'm proud to be Samoan. No, you're not. What pride? Like, you know, it pisses me off. The whole thing is a fucking mess. You know, the whole Samoan thing's a mess. It's like the Samoans go there, they racially humiliate themselves by acting like savages, and then afterwards their children further racially humiliate themselves by completely appropriating like a different culture. It's honestly unacceptable, and the fact that these Samoan jobbers get away with this is just absurd. I don't understand how this is even possible. Like, they just act like they're black guys, right? Oh, hater, what do you mean stereotypically black? You know exactly what I mean. We all know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know, they act like that. Nobody says anything, which is fine. Hey, it is what it is. To each his own. But it's like, I'd like to see a Samoan act like a normal person once. The closest one is Roman Reigns. Everybody else acts retarded. Like, they're either retarded one way of the spectrum, like they act like cannibals, like complete savages who wrestle barefoot, or they've completely prostituted any cultural identity they have, and they just took on the culture of another group of people. It's unbelievable. And then they're like, I'm proud to be Samoan. You know? Like they're fucking assholes. Like, they don't even say it right. They're like, you know how it is in Samoa. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. A few seconds ago, you were saying, yeah, dog, Uso penitentiary, yeet. You know what I'm saying? And then, but you have like a fucking palm tree tattooed on your nipple, right? And you're like, oh yeah, Samoa. Now I'm from Samoa. Shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up. Nobody gives a shit about this. After this colossal miss, right? And this colossal hit that was this mini Samoan rant that I throw in there. After this miss, the match is still not over. Basically, the Kabuki jobbers come out and Roxanne pushes Iyo onto them after a slight confusion, and then she rolls her up and pins her, right? So there it is. Iyo Sky is back to being a mid-carder again, but it is what it is. Then, speaking of Samoans, Uso comes out and just appropriates black people flagrantly. And the fact that this is just allowed to happen really shows that like the so-called like idea of cultural appropriation doesn't matter when it's Jey Uso doing it. It's fucking humiliating, and everyone involved should just be ashamed of themselves at this point on a racial level. It's just humiliating that this is allowed to happen, right? It's fucking laughable. Like the hater has said it once, said it before. I was in Jersey. I lived in Jersey for several years, and there's a lot of Indians in Jersey, and a lot of the young Indians, they act like they're black too, right? And they're just allowed to do this, right? It's like they're basically just it's like the same thing as putting on blackface, right? But they're just allowed to do it. Nobody says anything except for the hater. I'm the fucking hero of everybody, motherfucks. But anyways, that happens. He says absolutely nothing. Jey Uso is fucking retarded. LA Knight comes out and says, look here, Jey, you need to get in the back of the line. Then Jey Uso tries to be clever, which he should never try again. He's like, what line? I'm the line. You're the line. I'll put you in the back of the line. And it's like, that's literally what LA Knight just said to you. So you're fucking retarded, right? Then he walks away, but he doesn't walk away in shame, right? That's one thing that I've noticed a lot about the Samoans and other groups of people in America do. It's like they do dumb shit, they humiliate themselves, and then they walk away pretending they weren't humiliated, right? And then people just kind of forget, right? We just let them kind of live, we let them live it down. We're like, it's okay. Jey Uso has no personality, so he has to steal the personality of people that he's seen on TV. So we just let it go, right? These people humiliate themselves on a weekly basis. Like Jacob Fatu shakes like a retard in the middle of the ring on a weekly basis, and people just let it go. They let it go because there are no standards to being Jacob Fatu or to being a variety of people in wrestling, right? It's just you can do whatever you want. People are like, it's okay. Like, you're just a jobber, you know? But Roman Reigns says suffering succotash one time, and people won't let him live it down for like 15 years. Rightfully so, might I add, right? But think about it. Think about all the cringe that we see from these people. Like Solo Sikoa just makes a complete ass out of himself on a weekly basis. Like Jacob Fatu just shakes like a retard. He's basically like twerking and seizing at the same time. And nobody has the satchel to be like, what the fuck is that, bro? What the fuck is that? It's fucking weird. It's like, you know when you walk down the street by a bus stop and you see someone that's rapping to themselves, right? They have the headphones on, they're rapping themselves like they're Eminem from that scene in 8 Mile, right? And nobody says to them, look, retard, you suck. You're never gonna make it. Nobody wants to hear your shit rap, right? The hater does that. I'm like, yo, enough, you know? But a lot of people just let it go because it's like we're not allowed to say anything to anybody anymore. Everyone just gets upset and offended. Right? And we're allowed to just act like retards all the time. Hence the Jacob Fatu reference. Cuts. Anyways, this match was a complete disaster. After this, we have Maxine versus Becky Lynch. This is one of those like, get out of my ring. It's my ring matches, right? The entire story is like Maxine is not good enough to deal with Becky. Becky puts on the disarmor and Maxine like gets tapped out, right? We get a Bayley vignette. Basically, Bayley's having the exact same heel turn she had when she developed the Karen haircut and started Damage Control. It's the same thing. Basically, she's like, oh, like it's my fault that I suck. It's like, yeah, we all know. Who are you telling this to? Like, nobody gives a shit. Bayley's another one. She's another Jacob Fatu. She just comes out there, consistently embarrasses herself on a weekly basis, and we're all just supposed to pretend that nothing happened, right? We're all supposed to just pretend that like this is not goofy. You know, just like Charlotte Flair, she comes out dressed like Ric Flair. It doesn't have the same gravitas at all because she's a broad, right? Like the whole point about Ric Flair is he's like very show-offish and men aren't supposed to be like that. But women are show-offish in general, so it's just weird. You know, but nobody says anything. Nobody says, why is Charlotte Flair going woo like her dad? Like this is just as stupid as if Tozawa started doing that. Just because it's her dad doesn't mean that she has the right to plagiarize him in favor of creating her own personality or even having her own personality. Nevertheless, at the end of the Bayley vignette, which was actually not bad, this is like, if Bayley's going to do anything, do this. This is better than what she's been doing for the last like 3 years. But you hear this like Uncle Howdy type noise, and you know, if it comes down to that, like that's just a complete waste of time. Nobody gives a shite. After this, we get about the third or fourth Iyo Sky segment. Iyo Sky is walking backstage, and just when you thought things couldn't get worse, Stephanie Vaquero comes out. But this is fine. Like, it's fine if Stephanie Vaquero and Iyo have this conversation, right? Because Stephanie Vaquero doesn't speak English very well, and Iyo doesn't speak English very well, but neither of them speaks the language of the other, so they have to use the lingua franca. This is not even that retarded. I mean, I think it speaks volumes to the fact that WWE needs to hire more people that can cut promos. It's unacceptable if this is happening, But from a kayfabe interaction, it makes sense. And she basically says, like, look, like, I'm La Primera, and I want the title shot first. And Iyo Sky is just, like, pissed off. She keeps walking. Rhea Ripley appears. Rhea Ripley then says to her, all of a sudden, like, out of nowhere, Rhea Ripley says, look, Asuka and, what's her face? And Kairi cost you the match. Can you really trust them? There's absolutely no reason that Iyo Sky has not to trust them. So whatever the fuck, like, Rhea said is incredibly stupid. And the whole point of it is to that, now that we know, obviously, because Rhea said it, like, she has to be proven right because she also can do no wrong. Rhea Ripley makes an ass out of herself every week, and we have to just pretend that she's cool. You know? She fucking is starting to look like a dude, too, by the way. What the fuck's up with that? Anyways, so she just basically says, hey, don't you think they're a little weird? Can you really trust them? So now we know that probably what's going to happen, they could switch it, but probably what's going to happen is the Kabuki Warriors are going to turn on Iyo Sky and Rhea's going to help her, right? But all of a sudden, it's like, it makes you think, right? The only point of this is so that Rhea Ripley can say to her, I told you so, right? Yeah, you may have told her so, but you had no reason to say that, right? Like, if I go to all of my subscribers and I say, hey guys, you know, this year one of your best friends is going to betray you. Well, chances are, out of my 10,000 subscribers, that's going to happen to one of you, right? God forbid, I hope it doesn't, but chances are that one of you is going to be betrayed by your best friend this year, right? So, like, if I say it to everybody, I'm going to be right about one person, right? But I have no reason to say that. See what I'm saying? I have no reason to say it. And the same thing with Rhea Ripley. That's how it's going to come out, cucks. And after this, it's finally time for the horseshit tag match. This match was shit. I fell asleep, like, in the middle of it. I woke up. The match is still going. About 15,000 years later, you know, after I wake up, that is, the match ends in a DQ, right? There's a DQ out of nowhere. Seth Rollins, I think, comes and attacks everybody, right? And this is just another, like, beat-down situation, right? At this point, Uso comes out and makes the save. He comes out with a chair, and he does the same chair spot he's been doing for the last 5 years. It's like almost stupid. Like, if you're the person that's, like, has to be the front line of defense against the interfering wrestler with a chair, you know exactly what's going to happen, right? Like, what happens is the wrestler that's trying to stop Jey Uso in this case is going to try to go for, like, a high strike, like a clothesline, right? Jay's going to duck under it. The guy's going to turn around. Jay's going to hit him with, like, the edge of the chair in the stomach. The guy's going to bend over, and Jay's going to swing the chair onto that guy's back. This happens every single time with absolutely no variety, right? The only thing worse is that dumbass Jey Uso and generally Samoan super kick spot, where someone comes in, the guy ducks under the clothesline, they both turn around, and the Samoan hits a super kick. This happens, like, every fucking time that Jey Uso comes to save the day. Like, every single time. Except maybe tonight. That was the only exception. But anyways, this leads to, like, a situation where now Adam Pearce comes out, and if this were Teddy Long, someone with actual talent, right, and entertainment factor, he would make this into a 6-man tag match. Because now we've gone from 4 people to 6 people, and that's the logical conclusion. But, of course, Adam Pearce comes out and informs us that this is going to lead to a fatal 4-way. And obviously not tonight. Seth Rollins is at the point now where he's not wrestling for free. So at the next pay-per-view, Clash with Paris, that's how it is. That's how it's going to go down. It's going to be fucking Jey Uso versus LA Knight versus CM Punk. When they say CM Punk grabs the ropes like Batista and does the shake. Except he's old, he's fat, he's not muscular, he's not charismatic, and he has a fucking bowl-shaped haircut at this point. So go, I swear to God, if you didn't see this, go to the end of tonight's Raw and look at the segment of CM Punk shaking the ropes. It'll make you cringe, right? And all these motherfuckers are going to be in a fatal 4-way against the champion, Seth Rollins. So once Seth Rollins wins this, there are no more number 1 contenders, right? And now maybe Sami Zayn can get his bullshit, dog shit opportunity. So with that being said, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. I really wish I hadn't seen it. I rather would have played the same mission of Mafia over and over again than watch this. This was garbage. I fucking hated it with a burning passion of 1,000 suns. So with that being said, take care of yourself, motherfucks, and go fuck yourselves.